back to Sprigger Homestead. So today I'm going to show you how to divide chives. Generally speaking, in the spring is the best time to divide any of your herbs or plants that need division. Chives are one of those things that you can get away with doing it pretty much any time of the year. Of course not winter, but spring, summer, fall. It's kind of late in the summer, but it is only mid-August, so these guys will have plenty of time to put down new roots. So we're going to go ahead and divide them. Now, if you can kind of see this, this chive bed, it started out as 5 plants about 4 years ago, and the entire bed is full to the point that I'm starting to see diminished growth. So we don't want that. We're going to go ahead and divide them. So the first thing that we're going to do, actually, I'm going to go through and pick off all of these heads. These were from the spring flowers, and you can't really see them. Okay, so now you can probably see that a little bit better. You can kind of see the little black specks in these spent heads. These are actually going to be chive seeds. I don't usually start my chive by seed. I've just used plants and divisions. But you can start them by seed, and it's worth going ahead and saving them if you've got a friend or family member in another state maybe that wants some. You can see I've got a lot of them, so we're going to do that first and then come back and start dividing the plants. So once you've gone ahead and seeded out your heads as much as you care to, I go ahead and leave some of mine on. I don't get all of my seeds out, but what happens is when I transplant, inevitably some of the seeds will fall down in the dirt and germinate anyway. So I don't go ahead and take all of mine out, just as many as I feel like I want to keep. So now what we're going to do, your chives ought to pretty much be a clump, at least in some form of a clump. Maybe too big, maybe not all that large. This is a pretty large clump. So what we're going to do is we're going to come a couple inches out from the main clump, and we're going to basically just loosen it up with a trowel all the way around so that we can get the clump out. Chives can be kind of in there. You may or may not have to get a full-size shovel to get them out. You can kind of feel, you're trying not to tear the roots, but you do want to feel them kind of let go a little bit. And the trowel doesn't look like it's going to be quite enough for this group, so I'm going to go get a shovel. And there we go. So that is one chive plant. Okay, so once you've got your clump out, now we're going to go ahead and divide it. So the easiest way to divide these, and my clumps were very, very large, so I actually divided it into 4. So what you're going to do is you're going to kind of come down through the middle of your clump. This one I've actually already divided once, so this is my second division. And you're going to kind of pull them apart just a little bit so you can get a really pretty clean line. You're trying really hard not to, basically cut off a whole bunch of the chives. You're trying to just get a nice clean division down the middle of them without breaking the stems off. You don't really want to do that. So you're just going to kind of part them out, and then we're going to get the shovel. So you can take a flat nose spade or just a regular pointed shovel, and you are just going to go ahead and divide them up. So when you divide these things up, you want to clump somewhere around that size, a good fist hold, about what you see in the stores in the little pots. Anything smaller, they don't always do real well. You can do larger, but you're just going to have to divide more often. So now that we've got these things all divided off, let's get them planted. So you can kind of see I've already got one division planted. It's pretty simple stuff. You're just going to dig a hole big enough for your root ball. And you're going to basically, if you've done this right, you should have some soil around it, which will tell you kind of the depth they need to be. You're not going to want to plant them any deeper, just what they were. And get them back in there. This has been a good time to pull weeds if you've got any weeds growing through them, and you've always got some with chives. But go ahead and pull any weeds that might have come with your clump. Tamp them in there. I go ahead and plant mine about a foot apart. It does mean more divisions than if you go a little further. Don't go any smaller than that. You're just going to find that you're going to have to divide them almost every year. While chives enjoy a good division, too often will often lead to smaller plants, just because they really don't get the time to develop all the way before their next division. These guys planted a foot apart in here. Probably going to go 2, maybe 3 years. My initial plants have gone almost 4, but they were pretty sluggish the first year. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get these other 2 divisions planted, and we'll call this, at least this planter, a wrap. Alright, so you can see all 4 pieces of our division are all planted. Now, like any good planting, just go ahead and get them watered and let them go. Unlike other plants with chives, you don't go ahead and cut them down to encourage root growth. You do go ahead and leave them just as they are for at least a month. You should start to see new growth, and if you do, go ahead and you can start harvesting. Just be pretty sparingly with them, just because this is kind of heading into fall, and you want to make sure the plants have enough energy saved up to make it through the winter. So that's it on dividing chives. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. And that's it from Sprague River Homestead. Happy homesteading!